Yes? All right. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good evening and welcome to all of you. For those still out in the social hall, we know that the speakers work, so you can hear us. Come on in and join us. We're delighted that you have arrived. As we gather to welcome the Sabbath together, we sing on page 644 of Mishkan Tefillah, the blue books on the rack in the back of the sanctuary. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, we bring you greetings of Sabbath peace. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. It is my pleasure to call our board member on the Bima, Bob Dobkin, to light our Sabbath candles for us, page 120.
The source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher tishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'ad likner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who follows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Take a moment, turn to those in front of you, behind you, across the aisle. Let us wave and say hello and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. And as we do, we sing the words, Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful is this day. It is a Sabbath of peace. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Turning to page 146, we invite you to rise, if you are able, as we join together in our call to worship, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, et Adonai, 149 at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'mariv Aravim. Page 151, we read responsively in the middle of the page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love
than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On page 152, we find the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Oed. You may be seated as we continue with Ve'ahavta, page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha. V'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom, al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha. Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot bein einecha. Uchtavtam al mizuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. L'ma'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher otzeiti etchem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, l'hiyot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 157, we read responsively in the middle of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace.
Then shall we rejoice as Israel did,
singing on the shores of the sea. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. On page 162, we give thanks for the opportunity to enjoy the Sabbath and its rest. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים את הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויפרוש. If you are able, we invite you to rise once again as we join together in Tefillah, the central prayers of our worship service tonight. We begin on page 164 and continue on page 166 and then page 168. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechai hakol ata, Rav Loshia, Mechakel chaim b'chesed, Mechai hakol v'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Kayem emunato. Yeshua. 170. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalucha, Selah. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. Page 173, we read together at the top. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, shorcha levadcha, b'yirah navod. Page 177, we offer together a prayer of thanksgiving at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, l'chanael lehodot. And on page 178, we offer a prayer for peace. Shalom Rab. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Hasim Olam. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Hasim Olam. Ki atah hu melech adon, b'chol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon, b'chol hashalom. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rab, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. We pause now for a few moments of silent prayer Feel free to read the meditations on pages 180 and following, or any prayer that the heart may prompt.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, my rock and my redeemer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, my rock and my redeemer. My rock and my redeemer. My rock and my redeemer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, my rock and my redeemer.
Each week, we gather on Friday evening to welcome the Sabbath as a respite from the struggles of the week that has drawn to a close, as a chance to refresh ourselves for the work that still lies ahead. But there are many who continue to struggle each and every day, some openly and some in secret. In our Shabbat Shalom handout tonight, you find a list of names, people of whom we are thinking, hoping and praying for a full and speedy recovery of body, of mind, or of spirit as quickly as they are able. For those whom we list here and those whom we name only in our own hearts, we offer together a prayer for healing, Mi Sheberach, page 371. Mi Sheberach, Avotenu, Mekor HaBracha, Lahimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi Sheberach Imotenu, Mekor HaBracha, Lahimotenu. On the first Friday of each month, it is our custom here at Temple Shalom to call up those who have birthdays or anniversaries in the month to join us on the Bima for a special blessing. I know there's at least one out there tonight. So if there are any December birthdays or anniversaries, now is the time. Start heading up to the Bima. The one is still debating it. Oh, there we go. And it's more than one. More than one. Ah, good. Come on up. All right. Come on up, December birthdays and anniversaries. Come on up and join us. And would you all please rise as the ark is open and we take the Torah from the ark. Please be seated. Richard said, "Where's the cheat sheet?" Hidden underneath the lectern. Tonight, our Torah portion from the book of Genesis is the story of Vayishlach, as Jacob had been away for 20 years. He ran away thinking that his brother Esau wanted to kill him. That was not the case, but he doesn't know that. He's been away with his uncle and now / father-in-law Laban for 20 years of back and forth trying to rip each other off. He and his 2 wives and 2 concubines and countless sheep and goats and flocks and herds are now on their way back to the Holy Land, and whoops, there's a small problem. Esau's still there and waiting eagerly, it turns out, to see his little brother once again. Jacob assumes that Esau still wants to kill him, while Esau is actually excited to reunite the family. However, we don't know that yet until you join us tomorrow morning at Torah study, when we'll read the whole portion and discuss it in English and have bagels and lox. But for now, we read from the opening from Deuteronomy chapter 32, a few verses in. We're going to start at verse 14 and see Jacob's big plan of how he's going to butter up Esau before they meet. So, if you would please, the blessing, Richard, before the reading of the Torah. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Thank you. Come get a good look. Vayalein sham balayla hahu. Vayikach min haba biyado mincha le'esav achiv izim matayim vatyashim asarim rachelim matayim ve'elim asirim gmalim minikot uvenhemot shloshim parot arba'im uparim asara atonot esrim ve'arim asara vayitein biyad avadav eder livado Vayomer el avadav, ivru lifanai, v'revach tasimu bein eder uvein eder, v'yitzav et harishon lemor, ki yipagshcha Esav achi, v'sha'elcha lemor, lemi yata v'ana holech, lemi ele lefanecha, v'amarta la'avdecha leYaakov, mincha hi shlucha ladoni le'Esav, v'hinei gam hu acharenu, v'yitzav gam et hasheni v'et hashlishi, gam et kol ha'holchim acharei ha'adarim lemor, kadavar hazeh, tidabrun el Esav, b'motzechem oto, ve'amartem, gam hine avdecha Yaakov acharenu. Ki amar, achapra panav b'mincha ha'olechet lefanai, v'achrechein er'e panav, ulai yisa fanai. Jacob spent the night there, and the next morning he got up and took from all that had come with him, all that was in his possession, gifts for Esau, his brother. Female goats, 200. Male goats, 20. Female ewes, 200. Male rams, 20. Camels with their colts, 30. Female cows, 40. Male cows, 10. Female donkeys, 20. Male donkeys, 10. And he placed these in the hands of his servants, flock by flock, each one separated. And he said to the servants, spread yourselves out, put some distance between each of you on your journey, between the various flocks. And he told the first group that was setting off, when you run into Esau, my brother, he will probably ask you, who are you? Where are you going? Whose animals are these? You should say to him, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift he is sending to my lord Esau. And so he is right behind us. Then Jacob told the second group and the third group and each of the groups to say similarly when they saw Esau and ran into him, to say, and your servant Jacob is right behind us. And Jacob thought, I will make atonement for him with these gifts that I am sending ahead of myself. Then when he finally does see me, maybe he will show me favor. All right, let's read the blessing afterwards. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, notein haTorah.
Amen.
With the Torah still out, we ask God's blessing for all of these happy occasions coming up in December. Anniversary, birthday and birthday, very exciting. We say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has kept us alive and sustained us and enabled us to share these happy moments together. Congratulations. 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 Would you all please rise as the Torah is lifted? Bob? seated. The end of the semester was coming up. Winter break loomed ahead, and the children had brought their teacher gifts in their kindergarten classroom. And the teacher, knowing where the families were and which kids' parents did what, had a pretty good sense of what she was getting as gifts that year. The little boy, whose father was the town florist, handed her a delicate wrapped package, and she pretended to shake it. She said, "I bet it's flowers." And he said, "Yes, it is. How did you know?" "Well, I just had a guess," said the teacher. The little girl, whose mother owned the best bakery in town, handed her a heavy box, and she said, "This seems like a cake." And the little girl said, "Yes, that's amazing. How did you know?" She said, "Well, I just had a guess." The little boy, whose father owned the town liquor store, handed her a package, and it was leaking a little bit on the back. So the teacher tasted it and said, "Is that wine?" And the little boy said, "No." She said, "Is that champagne?" The little boy said, "No." She said, "I can't figure it out." And the little boy could contain himself no longer and said, "It's a puppy." In our Torah portion tonight, there is a question about appropriate gifts that one should give to someone else. It is the season of shopping, only a week and a half of Hanukkah shopping days left before the first night on Sunday the 14th. For our Christian friends and neighbors, they've got an extra week and a half still to go. But it is time to think about what gifts we might want to give. And I strongly encourage you not to follow the example of our patriarch Jacob. The Torah portion tonight, Jacob has a plan. And it's a very reasonable plan. He thinks to himself, "I'll send gifts ahead to Esau. And that way, by the time he sees me, he'll be so loaded with presents, he'll be so appreciative, so grateful, that he'll be happy with me." So he tells each of the groups bringing these flocks and herds ahead to his brother, "Tell him Jacob's right behind us." So each group, he'll think Jacob's about to come, and they'll get another gift. He'll think Jacob's about to come, but then he'll get another gift, and another gift, and another gift. He'll have so many gifts. He'll be so happy by the time he finally sees me. The gifts are also the kind of gifts that Jacob himself would like to receive. After all, Jacob is the inheritor not only of the covenant, but also of the family business of animal husbandry. He is very knowledgeable about breeding animals. We read that story in the previous week's Torah portion. He is gifted at raising flocks and herds. Esau, his brother, however, is a captain, a commander of a private little band of warriors. Esau is a great warlord with a little army of 400 guys. One assumes that he makes his living either by raiding the traders who are going up and down the trade route or protecting the traders for a fee. He has no use for flocks and herds and bulls and rams and lambs. This is actually a pain. Right? He wouldn't have a place to put them. He wouldn't have corrals. He wouldn't have a ranch. This is not a good gift. This is a gift that Jacob himself would like to receive. It's a gift that he thinks if he wants it, everyone else would want the same thing because I'm right. And no one else could have an opinion that was in any way different than my own. But it's worse than that because Jacob thinks that he's going to meet his brother who wants to kill him. So he's trying to bribe him with these gifts to make him change his feelings from anger to appreciation. In reality, what Jacob does not know is that Esau is eager to see his little brother. He wants to make up with him. He hasn't seen him in 20 years. He wants to give him a hug and a kiss and be a family again. And every time another group of herdsmen says, he's right behind us, he's right behind us, he's right behind us, Jacob does succeed at changing his brother's mood from happiness to anger to frustration to annoyance to a realization that he's still the same Jacob, that he never changed. He's the same annoying brother who tricked me so many times before, and now he's actively tricking me still. I keep believing it when they tell me he's right behind him. I'm falling for it again. Same old Jacob. The story, which seems so perfect in Jacob's mind, is a disaster in reality because Jacob doesn't think about what Esau might be feeling. He can't imagine that anyone would have an idea that's different than his own. He assumes that what I want is what anyone would want, and therefore I will give people what I would like to get. Do unto others so that they will do unto you is not our golden rule. Don't do to others what is hateful to yourself. That's our rule. Don't treat others badly if you wouldn't like that treatment yourself. And don't assume that you know what's going on in someone else's mind or heart if you wouldn't want somebody to make guesses about your own. The reality is that our community is in the business of giving some gifts to the neediest members of our society at this time of year. There are lots of programs and lots of projects, and Temple Shalom has actively participated in many of them for many years. We've given gifts to the children on the list at Catholic Charities. We've collected food and given it to the Soup Kitchen and Catholic Charities Neighborhood Center. We've helped out with those who are struggling. We've tried to feed and clothe and collect blankets and coats for the freezing and on and on and on. We try to be giving, to be caring, to be sharing. But the reality is that sometimes the gifts that we want to give, the gifts that are most convenient to us, the gifts that in our life would be a nice gift, may not be what the other person could most use. And equally true, sometimes the gift the other person wants is not the gift that they could most use. Sometimes we want things to be easy instead of doing what is right. And the reality is that our community has met a tipping point. Just a couple of weeks ago, I spoke from right here in our sanctuary on having been asked by the chief of police to join with other clergy in trying to respond to the homelessness issue right here in our city. We talked with the folks at the camp, this was before it had closed, to try and see what kind of services were needed. Just this past week, there was a program at the Life Hub where clergy were invited to see the facility and understand the needs and understand how the shelter was operating but needed more funding and more beds because there were still lots of people and nowhere to put them. In a fortunate turn of events, the Salvation Army opened up a facility that they had recently closed to housing people to be able to house some of that overflow crowd. And as I sat at the Life Hub having breakfast this past Wednesday morning with clergy from across the faith spectrum, hearing what was going on, seeing what was being done, and listening to the ask, what we were being asked to help provide, it struck me that we were not being asked for the right kind of gift. We were being asked for a gift that was easy, a few more dollars to make more sheltering possible, a few more coats, a few more cans of soup, a few more of what we were already doing. But what we were already doing is not working, because simply sheltering people for another night against the cold does not address the real reasons of why they're out in the cold. And so this week, after that breakfast, I and several of my fellow clergy leaders have been talking at great length about what we could do to make a real difference. What we as a community of faith leaders, inspired by our tradition that tells us not to stand idly by while our neighbor bleeds. Putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound doesn't actually solve the problem. That person needs much, much more. And so, too, the words we heard right here in this sanctuary on the evening before Thanksgiving, that if you give a needy person enough, they won't be needy anymore. As I wrote in this morning's newspaper, we have to change our approach. And so the question is, what would work? And the answer is, it's not one size fits all. You can't simply go to the department store and say, I'm shopping for the homeless, can I have the right gift? I really want the right thing to give. Because some people need real psychiatric help and care, and there are not enough beds in our community. And the medical world is going to have to step forward and address that. That's beyond what any of us can really deliver. There is a significant portion of the homeless community who are dealing with drug and alcohol addiction. And there are lots of good services in our community, and even follow-up care with the recovery homes at YSS, which we at Temple Shalom have sent meals to on many an occasion. The leftovers from our first Friday dinners have gone to feed those folks at the recovery homes. We have helped. We have helped in meaningful ways. But the trouble is you can't make somebody go. You have to have somebody who wants to go. And the care and support and time and attention that are required is a lot more than most of us are willing to offer, a lot more than most of us are able to offer. There is, however, something that we can do, and that is transitional housing. Transitional housing is giving people who have been on the street a chance to come in, but not just for the night, a chance to live in a safe setting with life skills, and teaching them how to cook and how to budget and how to manage a home, how to live not on the street, but in a house or an apartment, how to pay their bills, how to get a job. That's a lot of time and effort. But it can be done, and it's already being done by at least one institution right here in our community. The YWCA has transitional housing. And for 12 years, 12 rooms at a time on several stories of their building downtown, they have been housing women who otherwise would have been homeless, victims of domestic violence who had to leave their home for fear of abuse, victims of human trafficking who got away from their trafficker but have nowhere else to turn. And these ladies have lived in a dormitory-style setting in which there's a shared kitchen and living room, and they get life skills, they get job training, they get support, they get counseling, they get help. And for up to 2 years, they're allowed to stay there. And when they leave, and they have a job lined up, and they have an apartment that's been arranged, they get to take with them their blankets and their pillows and the desks and chairs and everything that they'll need to fill that apartment so they can actually succeed and stand on their own. That's what's needed. In our community, there's just too few beds. There's 12 spaces at a time at the YWCA. Well, they're working to build another space with 20 more. And if our community, and the current estimate of how many folks are out there, homeless, sleeping outside tonight against the law in the city of Wheeling, or under the shelter of the Life Hub, albeit temporarily, the reality is if we take away the crowd that needs the psychiatric help and get them what they need, and we pull out the group that needs drug and alcohol rehab and get them the right kind of help that they need, the number of people that are out there who might genuinely benefit from a hand up instead of a hand out could be met if this community came together with a public-private partnership that is already now being talked about very seriously and worked on. I have committed myself to participate. I'm trying to rally my fellow faith leaders and many of our elected officials I've already gotten on board, and we are going to need your help. Our congregation can take a real lead at making a profound difference for the betterment of our community, not just those we already know, but the strangers with whom we dwell, to better our society for all with whom we share it are the values we claim to hold, we have a chance to do something meaningful. If you see somebody down in a hole and you throw them a sandwich, they might be hungry a little less. But if you throw them a ladder instead, they might be able to get out of the hole. That's what we have to do. And that's what Jacob did not realize. That the gift he felt comfortable in giving, because he had plenty, was not the gift that Esau needed. What Esau needed was genuine human compassion. To see his baby brother again and give him a hug. To repair that which was broken in their relationship with each other. And to restore a sense of peace to his heart, to both of their hearts, and indeed, in doing so, to our world. So too can we. This holiday season, let us not just go with the gift that is easy. Let's not just give some of what we already have plenty of. Let's give what's actually needed to make a difference, to repair our world. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Boy, that's a tough act to follow. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Special welcome to all of you, especially to our all of the guests here tonight. So welcome to Temple Shalom. Tonight's pulpit flowers are in loving memory of Pearl Wasserstrom by Sherry Rosenberg, and in loving memory of my father, Edward Dobkin. Tonight's ONEG sponsor is my lovely wife and my son, Ben. Make sure the stock market circle challenge has begun, so make sure that you get your certificates and get those out into the community. As the rabbi just noted, there are many available in the foyer to pick up on your way out. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year besides Chocolate Extravaganza, and both of those events are a lot of fun to participate in, whether it's Chocolate Extravaganza or the Stock Market Circle Challenge. The nice thing about the Stock Market Circle Challenge, that fun continues week after week from January the 5th through March. I forget what date it is in March, but it's a lot of fun to follow along with that game and to participate either with your family or your friends, your coworkers. If you're in an office setting, my goodness, it's a lot of fun to compare those standings every week. And it's a great way for us to raise funds here at the temple. Special thanks to Kate and Terry and Travis for the beautiful music tonight. And as far as future announcements, please join us tomorrow for Torah study. On Sunday, religious school, which is a video visit to Jerusalem. Monday, lifelong learning. Food for thought, it's at 7 p.m. And then next Friday, December the 12th, we have young people Shabbat and Erev Shabbat at 7 p.m. And then Saturday again for the Torah study at 9:45. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Just a reminder, on Sunday morning, our religious school is very fortunate. For the last couple of years, my dear friend and colleague and rabbinical school classmate, Cantor Evan Cohen at Har El Synagogue in Jerusalem, has met with us over Zoom, thanks to the wonderful smart board that was donated to our religious school. We are able to have a virtual trip to Jerusalem. So Cantor Evan and possibly his daughters, I never know if they're going to show up, they sometimes do, are going to take us on a trip, Hanukkah shopping, through the streets of Jerusalem this Sunday morning. So to all our young families, please join us. And special refreshments will also be held at Sunday school. Let's just say there might be some jelly donuts in honor of Hanukkah upcoming. So please join us. That's this Sunday morning for a virtual visit to Jerusalem. A Zoom link will be available. We will send it out to all the young families and grandparents as well. Anyone who wishes to tune in is more than welcome. We turn now to page 586 and rise as the ark is open for Aleinu.
Let us adore the ever-living God, and render praise unto Him, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. He is our God, there is none else. V'anachnu orim u'mishtachvim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'ema Adonai melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
We remain standing as we remember those whom we have loved and lost, those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat, and all whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight we remember Fanny Block, Edward Cohen, Edward Benjamin Dobkin, Ray Berman Druck, Lillian Levy Duga, Abba Eben, Michael Efros, Charles J. Favish, Shirley Lampel Favish, Alan E. Feinberg, Edith Geller, Erman Harrison, Isaac Katz, Harry Levy, Cecilia Balins Kernis, Mary Kaufman Lewine, Leonard A. Mayer, Max Alfred Mendelson, Beulah Zweig Phillips, Nathan Phillips, Leon Ross, Florence Schwartz Rubin, Sadie F. Ruttenberg, Harry Silverberg, Pearl Wasserstrom, and Victor Barry Weissman. Additionally, we are still in the period of Shloshim, remembering the tragic death of West Virginia National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. If there are any other names to be remembered for Kaddish this evening, I invite you to please add those names at this time. For all those whom we name out loud and those whom we name only in our hearts, we join together in remembrance of all we have loved and lost with Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechal beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kariv yimru. Amen. Yesh me Rabbah mevorach l'halam l'omei al-maya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yiromam v'yinaseh. V'yitatar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei t'kedusha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata b'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Tamiran b'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yesh lama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. O say shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Himru. Amen.
Amen.
May God grant peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us, and together let us say, Amen. Our closing hymn is taken from the last lines of the Kaddish. O say Shalom, may God who makes peace in the heavens above bring peace to our world.
O say Shalom, Shalom Bimrama.
Uya say Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Emru Amen. Uya say Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen. O say Shalom, Shalom Bimromav, Uya say Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Emru Amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen. O say Shalom Bimromav. God, you make peace in the heavens above. But there is not always peace in our own world. And there is certainly not always peace in our own hearts. Help us, O God, to think of the needs of others and to value them as made in your image, just like ourselves. For then we might remember that we are part of one human family, and we might take the gifts that you have given us so generously, O God, and share them with others in need. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please join us for the Kiddush.